Walter Jones, happy to have you on the platform, my guy.
Oh man, glad to be here, Art.
Hey man, it was an honor to bring you on, man. I had to make it happen.
My back started now swinging down.
In the Black Ranger.
Need to get a second mix.
That was my favorite Ranger, man. So, had to bring you on, man.
Hey man, I appreciate it, bro. I was the first black superhero on live action TV. So it's such a big deal. It was like, when I was a kid and I would look at like TV shows, like I watched the Little Rascals when I was a little kid, and the only one on that TV show that looked like me was Buckwheat. And I didn't want to be him. So, like I'm happy to be somebody the kids can look at and be like, I like him, he's got a cool vibe, he's positive, he's got energy, I can be like him. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because when I look back at it, yeah, you was the first black superhero on TV.
I was the first black superhero on live action TV. Now, Robert Townsend was in a show called Mantis that came out 2 weeks before me. So he was actually the first black superhero, but I was the first black superhero on live action TV. And our show obviously is continued for 32 years and is in 40 countries. So it's kind of a big deal.
Very big deal. Did you ever think that it would get that big, Joe?
No, man. In fact, I took the show home. We did the pilot, right? So we did the pilot. They were going to pitch it to Fox. If Fox picked it up, we would do 40 episodes, which is exciting for any actor because usually if you book a series, you got like 12 episodes, maybe 20, but 40 is a lot. It was on every day. So I took the pilot home to Detroit from the D. What up, though? And I showed it to my family. My family's all over there. They're all welcoming me home. I showed it to them on a Sunday, and we sat there and watched the pilot. And afterwards, they're all like, "That's all right. You stay at it. Something's gonna work out for you." They were like, I think they all hated it. They were like, "What is this? Like, what is this? What the party? Why are you talking? What is all that? You're translating like you're morphing into a mastodon. That's so strange. It was such a strange thing. And then you got Rita Repulsor and her voice.
And then the monkey with wings.
And the mouth like didn't match. And it's like it just for them it seemed strange. And they didn't think it was gonna be anything. So I guess my family wasn't impressed. So I was kind of like, I guess it's not that great. But what happened was there was enough of it there to motivate them to redo it. So we redid the pilot 2 or 3 times. And after the 3rd time, they pitched it to Fox, and they picked it up. So it was cool.
Yeah, I saw where you said that y'all was getting paid $1,200 an episode. That's true? That's how much y'all was getting paid?
$1,200 is what we got paid eventually. That's not where it started. I'm not gonna give you an exact amount, but I can tell you it was about half of that to start. Yeah, an episode, which is crazy. It's like we did the whole first 40 episodes, which turned out to be 60 episodes, and then we start shooting the second season, and we got a little bit of a raise, but it wasn't much, and not for a show that made $1 billion.
No, sure.
The number 1 kids show in the world. I remember the producer came downstairs. I was sitting next to Austin, the Red Ranger. And he said, "Congratulations, guys. You are the number 1 kids show in the world." And we were like, let me tell you, like, did he say the world? I didn't even know it was in the world. I didn't know it was in 40 countries. I didn't know it was all over the place, and the toys were selling out before the TV shows even came on. I mean, the parents were like spending the night in front of Toys R Us to get their kids a Power Ranger. It was crazy. It was all over the news.
So the show, it made $1 billion the first year, and y'all was making less than $1,200 an episode?
The show made $1 billion the first year. We were making less. I'm saying, which is why I left the show, because it was like, come on, that's not right. It's like they should be paying us SAG wages, because when you join the Screen Actors Guild, then you're protected. Like you have a minimum that can be paid. So we should have been making at least the minimum of Screen Actors Guild. Honestly, we should have been making a lot more than that. But, in the beginning, you can say that we were actors that nobody knew, right? So we were getting a start, and in the beginning, but once the show was a hit, and we did the first season, the second season it should have been Elise Union and On Point, and then they were about to do the movies, and once the movies were going to kick in, it was like, there's a difference between a television star and a movie star, and if you're making, I mean, what they were trying to pay us for the movie was garbage, and it wasn't just one movie; it was three movies.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, man, I had all the action figures. I had the video game of Sega Nintendo, Sega. And you telling me y'all wasn't getting anything from that?
One of them. So you got, if that would have left it with 96%, but 1%, all the original actors, all the original Power Rangers, I mean, I would be a multimillionaire. Multimillionaire, easily. I mean, like, 1% of a billion is what? Is 10 million? And over 32 years, yeah, I would be, my family would definitely have generational wealth. You know what I mean? Which is what we earned.
Oh man,
It is what
that's bad.
that's still.
I know how that feels.
Making toys that come out right now don't have my face or something similar to my face based off my character.
Ain't nobody joining this shit.
I try not to live being like hateful about that situation. It is what it is. It's been 32 years. I've learned to deal with what it is, and I choose to be grateful for what I do have. I mean, the fact that I am beloved by three generations of people, it's amazing, and that I could be a positive role model to so many people, that I put positivity in the world and that leaders. I love that. That makes me happy. It makes me happy and proud to do that, as well as the fact that it initiated my acting career, and I've been working as an actor for 32 years. So that's not something everybody can say they've done.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all went on a strike, right?
We walked off the set. So our contract was over for the first season, and they given us a contract for 3 movies. So we all got a lawyer. I mean, like, if we would all gotten a lawyer together and all negotiated for a contract all together, they couldn't do the movie with none of us. They wanted us. So
what the hell?
If we would have stuck together,
I want to fight somebody, Danny.
A decent contract, probably would have.
I want to fight somebody.
Should have been, and maybe we got.
They bullshitting in here.
But we definitely would have been living a lot better than we were after, they continue on without us.
Come on with it.
So it is what it is. It's funny because I know I'm friends with the actors that came and that ended up getting the parts after we walked away. And man, for them it was like, can you imagine being an actor who watched the Power Rangers and then you audition to be a Power Ranger and you find out that you are the new Power Rangers on the TV show and you're doing the movie in about a month? It's like they didn't earn that. That wasn't their movie. That was a movie we earned, that we built a following for, and they did the movie. Apparently, they were supposed to do 3 to 6 more of them, and they never did another one like that.
Continuity took shit.
It didn't have the same hit. They took a hit on it. They should have, they should have just made it fair for everybody. And then, who knows? The movie would have done a lot better, I'm sure.
And I remember as a kid, watching that movie for the first time, and I always wondered why the original cast wasn't in the movie.
And where did it go? Yeah. Wait, where's that? Where's Trini? Where's
Jason?
Who's his name? Jason. Yeah. But I mean,
that's your best friend.
After I left the show, I went on to have another show on Nickelodeon called Space Cases, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, somebody
that was cool, and they paid me well, which is good.
Yes, another one.
While I was making on that show,
need one more
easily, So and
get one more in here with us.
I would have been doing just fine, you know?
Need one more on the team. See if y'all can recruit another person. They would get started right away.
Yeah.
You know, it's only right to put y'all in the movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that is crazy how they got a whole brand new cast and throw them in a movie like that.
They just didn't want to negotiate the contract. I think they were afraid that because I think they already had intentions of changing the cast.
Stranger, they might become a new friend.
The Japanese footage is they change every year, or they change. You know, the Rangers change. They only had so much Mighty Morphin footage, and then after that, it was going to go.
All right, let's do this, team.
So they
let's rock this some bitch.
Intentions of changing the cast, but slowly, like losing one person here, one person there, adding a new person, and I think he just said, "Well, forget it. We'll just lose all three of them." You know, and we'll just start all over. But it took a hit. I know I met a lot of fans when I found out you left the show. I went in my room and I ripped the poster down. You know, it hurt a lot of people. It devastated a lot of kids. So, you know.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all went on strike, right?
We walked off the set. So our contract was over for the first season, and they had given us a contract for 3 movies. So we all got a lawyer. Like if we would all gotten a lawyer together and all negotiated for a contract all together, they couldn't do the movie with none of us. They wanted us. So
these are girls.
If we would have stuck together, then we would have been able to negotiate a decent contract. Probably would have went SAG, which is what it should have been, and maybe we got a percentage of the merchandise. I don't know, but we definitely would have been living a lot better than we were after. You know, they continued on without us. So it is what it is. It's funny because I know I'm friends with the actors that came and that ended up getting the parts after we walked away. And man, for them it was like, can you imagine being an actor who watched the Power Rangers and then you audition to be a Power Ranger and you find out that you are the new Power Rangers on the TV show and you're doing a movie in about a month. It's like they didn't earn that. You know, that wasn't their movie. That was a movie we earned that we built a following for, and they did the movie.
Why are you repeating this shit?
3 to 6 more of them, and they never did another one like that because they didn't have the same hit. They took a hit on it. They should have just made it fair for everybody, and then who knows? The movie would have done a lot better, I'm sure.
I remember as a kid, watching the movie for the first time, and I always wondered why the original cast wasn't in the movie.
And where did they go? Wait, where's that? What's changing? Who's his name? Jason. Yeah. I mean,
what you did for
after I left the show, I went on to have another show on Nickelodeon called Space Cases, and I was like, fun. That was cool. And that's I mean, what I was making on that show is what I should have been making on Power Rangers easily. So, and if I had done that, I would have been doing just fine. I'd have been quite happy. They just didn't want to negotiate the contract. I think they were afraid that because I think they already had intentions of changing the cast at some point because the Japanese footage is they change every year, and they change. The Rangers change. They only had so much Mighty Morphin footage, and then after that, it was going to go on to Zeo. It was going to go on to this. And so they already, I think, had intention of changing the cast, but slowly, like losing one person here, one person there, adding a new person, and I think he just said, "Well, forget it. We'll just lose all 3 of them." And we'll just start all over. But it took a hit. I know I met a lot of fans who were like, when I found out you left the show, I went in my room and I ripped the poster down. Because I was like, I'm done. I can't believe he's not there no more. It hurt a lot of people. It devastated a lot of kids. Who left was the Red Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and myself. So So it was Austin John Sweet Train, and myself. Each stage was the Blue Ranger, the Pink Ranger, and the Green Ranger. And I was Jason David Frank, and
Yeah, the Green Ranger and the White Ranger.
and they had the readers for Stan, you know. I mean, like, it, it's not everybody who's brave enough to rock the boat, you know. Like, we're winning, we're on this amazing show, we're about to do a movie,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity of a lifetime, but we're being screwed, and we've been getting screwed. So, do you continue to get screwed and not rock the boat? Or do you stand up for yourself against the bully? It's like, going, hey, we can fight. All right, well, man, we got to stand up. At some point, you got to stand up. So that's what we did, you know.
And you was telling me before the interview that you just now see the movie for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. I watched it probably a year ago for the first time because I didn't care to see it. I was like,
Oh,
that was
wow.
supposed to be my movie, you know? And so I didn't really, and I was busy working, so I didn't care to go check it out or, it didn't matter to me at that point. But I saw it, and it was entertaining, it was cool, it would have been better without, you know? It would have been better with a little Pop Tito in there, you know? With a little Zack Slater. I mean, because my character was like very different from all the rest of the characters. You know, I was like charismatic. I mean, everybody's charismatic, but I was charismatic in a different way. I implemented hip hop Tito into my dance style. It wasn't all that, but it was like, it was, I had a different vibe, different energy. And I was representative of a whole lot of black and brown people, including white people. So I represented everybody.
Yeah.
So it was a face that everybody can look at and go, "That's my guy." You know, I'm like him. I want to be like him. I'm the first. Yeah,
And when they made that deal for the three movies, right? Y'all had no idea they did that without y'all knowing, right?
yeah, yeah. It was. That's what the movie was gonna be for. It was like that contract wasn't just for one movie. That was the catalyst to it all. It was like, oh, really? So you're gonna give us this contract? We're supposed to just take whatever you give us and not have an agent or a lawyer negotiate it for us. And I can tell you that the first movie was under $20,000. $20,000 for a multi-million-dollar movie, 20th Century Fox, and that's what they're gonna pay the star. It was unheard of. It was like, no. And then there was attached to it two other movies with a small upgrading of what the pay was. You know, you're getting a $20,000 rent. You know,
Damn, y'all help, man. Hey, where the sorry motherfuckers?
movie, who's still gonna be broke? Like, couldn't afford a place in LA, couldn't buy a nice car, couldn't, I mean, barely get by. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, they were screwing chicken and running shit because I was there.
No, we weren't. I was 26 at the time. Yeah, I mean, we were playing kids, but we were all adults. But we were,
No.
we were new in the industry.
Girl.
After I did the 85 episodes. So after the first 20, 30 episodes of it being a hit show, I was no longer new. You know what I'm saying? The contract should have been able to be negotiated before then. And it should have been negotiated to be SAG, right? And we even had cast and crew coming up to us and going, "Hey guys, hey, they're really screwing you guys, man. You guys should go SAG. You should make the show SAG, and that way it'd be fair. And that way it'd be, I mean, like the casting because the cast and crew, the crew was even non-union, so everybody felt the same way. Everybody was like, we're on this hit show. This guy's making $1 billion. He made $1 billion the first season. Billion. That's a whole lot of millions. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole lot of millions, bro. So it would not have hurt him to lose 6 million out of his 993 million to make the rest of us happy. To start. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Or if you look at it from a business perspective, then they say screwed. But I would say greed. It wouldn't take that much. I mean, it doesn't show any compassion. It doesn't show any compassion for the people that are helping you build your brand. You know what I'm saying? And I think from his perspective, he'll say, "I built the brand. You know, it was I did everything. I brought this here. I
Try to
sold the
get two
toys.
more
I did
people with
that,
us.
and I gave you an opportunity. I mean, this I think his perspective was I gave you an opportunity to be famous. You'll be famous, but you won't be rich. But that's what is that? Not if you want to continue to have the magic that was there. You know, like we had a great
Alice got a person
chemistry.
named Alice in there. That's the
We had
strongest power I've ever
something that
seen.
hadn't been seen before. So I don't know. It is what it is, bro. In the world that we live in now, and the
One more person.
temperament that we have, where people are greedy, it's all about me. I want everything. I think
There we
that's what it
go.
was about, you know. But some people will look at somebody like that and go, "Oh, well, that was true. That was, you know." But I would say, yeah, I would say greedy.
Let's do it. Full team.
For
Let's
you personally,
hold on. Wait a
what did
minute.
you
Person
personally
left.
grasp
Hold
when
up.
something was
Oh, the red flag came immediately as we signed the first contract. We knew it was a bad contract. I mean, and they told us then, listen, you can take this to your manager. Like after 2 weeks of auditioning, you know, they finally go, all right, you guys are the ones. You are cast. You guys are gonna be, you know, Power Rangers. And actually, it wasn't even called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the beginning. It was called Phantoms. Eventually, they changed the name, and you know, it became Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Apparently, I heard the story recently. Um, they heard the name Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so he knew he wanted the name to be na 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 na, something like that. So they came up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? So you know, when we first got the contract, they said show it to your agent or your lawyer, but the first person that comes back and wants to negotiate or change anything will fire you or hire somebody new. Now, at that point, I'm a brand new actor. I've only done extra work here and there. I've done theater. I haven't been on TV. I'm not a TV actor. So, you know what? I'll take this opportunity to do this. Maybe if it becomes
Come
something,
on.
the next contract, the next season, it'll be better for us. So, you know, you take that first loss. You're like, all right, just to get the
Come on
opportunity
now.
to work as an
What's
actor,
going
get the
on?
opportunity to
What's
have
wrong?
to learn about being behind the camera.
That's
The whole
probably why
thing.
that fourth person left. Huh?
I mean, we knew
We're
immediately
gonna
it
be
was a
able to
bad
stop
contract.
it.
It was obvious. However, taking that opportunity, like, you know, taking the shot. Like, you know, you had to take the shot for the first one, but at the second season, it was like
Yeah,
it
man.
didn't get much
What's
better.
going on, man?
You know, so we knew. We knew from the very beginning.
and when you look back at hindsight, do you regret leaving the show so early?
Okay, so I wish I'd done the movie. That movie was my movie. It would have been the biggest budget movie I've ever done, right? I would have gone to Australia, I would have shot this movie that I earned. It would have been, you know, and I believe that the movie would have done well, it would have done better, and I probably would have done 3 or 4 more other movies. Now, I wish I'd done that. I wish that had happened,
All right, guess it's gonna be the
but
three of us.
I don't wish that I would have done it for the negotiated price that we were doing it for. I mean, I had to stand up, you know. I missed that I didn't do that movie, but if I had to do it all again, I would do it again. I would do it again. I would just hope that everybody's still with me, because that would have made a difference.
So some of the cast they changed their mind about going on straight.
Well, we all had a conversation about it, and it was like, well, you know, I think, you know, sometimes people say things half-heartedly. You know, everybody was excited about the movie. We talked about, you know, it wasn't fair. We should negotiate it.
Hey,
You know, we should
James.
get a lawyer. But it's easy for somebody to go, yeah, you know, if you get a lawyer, I'm down. But once you got a lawyer, now they got to make a decision. And, you know,
There's
I
somebody
guess, you know, they
speaking.
have their reasons. Saying, no, I don't want to talk to a lawyer. I don't want to do it. Maybe they're afraid. They're afraid that they're going to lose the job. Maybe they're afraid that they wouldn't, you know, the Green Ranger, if he becomes a White Ranger, and he's doing well. Like He's coming up.
Yeah.
He's growing in views. So maybe he's
That's
afraid to lose that. And everybody's got different reasons, but originally we were supposed to do it together, and at the end, it was only the three of us that were willing to stand up. And actually, what happened in us standing up, it made it better for them, because then they offered them more money to stay, right? And then we went back to them going, "Hey, look, we're doing these car shows, and we're making more in a weekend than we make an entire season. This is what our worth is." And then they went and they complained that, "Hey, so what about the appearances, so they paid them more money and stay even more." So we made it better for them. And they stayed, and then we had the reward.
Did they personally tell you that they were backing?
No, we were negotiating for the contract, and then we saw that they were having auditions. And it was like, wait, I thought we were negotiating to come back to do the finish. And so we went to I think I was in Hawaii on vacation with some fellas, and I found out that it was no longer going forward. That they hired 3 new rangers, and they were going to do the film, and if you weren't going back to the show, it was done. And I was like, man, wow, that's crazy. I just had to figure out, well, just got to move forward, got to keep going.
Ain't that bitch jumping?
The good thing for me was,
like they say, jump.
And I was coming away from it. I had name value because I was on a hit show. So now in my audition process, and I'm a real actor. I mean, I've been acting. I had agents. I was pursuing acting. I didn't just walk into it like, the Red Ranger went to the audition for a belt. He never really wanted to do that. He just kind of happened to be the right guy for the part, and it worked out. But I had always pursuing an acting career. So now when my agent, I was hired in the industry. We got the guy that comes from the Power Rangers. He's got, I got a good agent. I got opportunities to audition. So I booked the show in Nickelodeon, and I was booking Disney stuff, and they were making me offers, and I had a better name in the industry than I would have if I didn't have the Power Rangers behind me. However, if I worked on the show for 6
Not the place to be,
years, say, like Vincent Frank, he worked on the show for 6 years. So now he's kind of typecast as this Ranger. So it's hard for anybody to see him as anything else but that. So it was fortunate for me that I'd done it, but I wasn't so ingrained in it that I couldn't do anything else. And so that's why I was able to have a prosperous career. I had the talent, I had the name, worked out, but not everybody was able to build a career after Ranger because some people got passion.
The original Yellow. Is it true that she was Latino?
Yeah. Her name was Audrey DuBois. And she's really good. She's a tomboy, a badass martial artist. And so the energy of her cast is really different because she was not one to back down. She was like, all hands on deck, let's go, ready to fight, right? So that gave us a certain energy, and when they let her go because she asked for more money, they hired 2 friends. And that's when, I was the White Ranger, she was the Yellow Ranger, she was the Asian girl, and that's when it got a little hot. It was like, oh, that's weird, but it was coincidental. But we gave our cast this flavor of Zen that we didn't have. Actually, I think the show did as well as it did because she added a thing that we didn't have. Like, she added the zen, the calm, to it. It's like, so we weren't bullies. We weren't going around just beating up buddies, and just it wasn't like we loved to fight. It's like we didn't want to fight, but if we had to handle our business, we did. You know what I'm saying? And even with the bullies on the show, Bump and Skull, sometimes they would go at the girls and kind of like be bullies towards them. And my character would always step up like, you ain't mess with the girls. The girls were like, don't worry, you got this. You know, with a smile on the face, like, we got this, we can handle it. Which is inspiring, young girl, you know, I can handle myself too. I don't need somebody else. That's kind of martial arts. I know martial arts, I am self-aware and self-protect. Which is a weird thing.
What is the name of the young
Sweet Trent.
She passed away, right?
Yes.
She was in a car accident. After we left the show, after they hired 3 new actors, she went on to pursue her career. She started working in movies. She was in the movie The Crow, Brandon Lee. And she was one of the bad guys in the movie. Did a great job.
I thought I dodged that some bitch.
And then she was in a car accident with 2 friends, and she died. And one of her friends that was in the car actually went through the windshield and is paralyzed from the waist down. And the driver, he was the only one that had his seatbelt on. He survived. He's I'm scared. Yeah. We finally paid tribute for her death. Sorry, excuse me. In the movie we just did on Netflix called Power Rangers Once and Always. And so the idea of the script is that she passes away. And she's killed by one of the my leader, also Logan Rita. And so we are avenging her death. But it's the first time that we've made mention that she had passed away or that we paid tribute to her in over, I don't know, it's like over 15 years or more. But I think because you guys were kids then, and to talk about her passing might have been a lot, for you guys. Because here we are, superheroes, she passed away, and although she wasn't on the show anymore, she was beloved, So maybe that's why it took so long to pay tribute to her, but I'm happy that we finally did.
In that show, she went out a hero.
The coolest. She was real cool. She was like a really sweet girl, funny, talented, sweet, kind. Like she's kind of girl that if a kid came around, you instantly love her. Like she had that energy. She was super sweet and very lovely person.
When's the last time you spoke to her?
Wow. She had a party after the Crow, and I go to that party, but one night after that, I think I was hanging out in Hollywood. She was living down off of Laurel Canyon at the bottom, and I called her up and was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I just went by and hung out with her. We were in the kitchen talking and just congratulating her on all her success. And we were talking about, what it was like to get through what we were going through. Because nobody knows what it was like to leave that show, the heartbreak and all, and to wonder about what the rest of our career is going to be like, because what we wonder is that what it's going to be, or were we going to be able to aspire and go on and do more things? And when I was working, I had a show on Nickelodeon. I went on to do a number of other, guest stars on a bunch of different shows, Family Matters, Screen Teenage Witch, CSI, The Shield, all kinds of stuff. But she had broken 2 major movies. So, I was really proud of her. I was really proud that she had made that mark and that she was winning with that, Because I think her career would have blossomed more after that. Because there was nobody like her.
Yeah, I knew that had to be depressing. Not knowing what to do next.
Yeah. It's definitely depressing.
Yeah.
But we had to
Instead of her leaving and surfing, I know it took a toll on all 5 of them. I think that's the reason why Pastor John spit,
was okay. I mean, I was upset, but my thinking was, well, look, I'm on the #1 kid show. I'm on the #1 hit kid show in the world. I've already done it. So now what am I going to do? what comes next. Now I want to be on a primetime series hit show. I can go from this and move on to the next thing. So I ended up having another hit show on Nickelodeon with my show Space Cases. It was the number 2 show on Nickelodeon behind Kenan and Kel, and that was cool. But I wanted that primetime series, you know, and so I got the opportunity to do that with a show called Malibu Shore with Aaron Spelling, and unfortunately we had a bad time slot, so the show only ran for 1 season, but it had a bunch of stars in it, like Felicity, sorry, not Felicity, it had Terry Russell, Tony Luca, Essence Atkins, Daniel Carpenter, myself, Jacob Vargas, a bunch of actors that went on to do great things, and you know, with Randy Spelling and a bunch of other people. So I did get my series. Unfortunately, it didn't hit. It didn't stay.
You had a solid career for that. But I do want to ask you, because I remember when it came out, everybody was going crazy about it. What's the backstory behind the writing of your
Oh yeah. Well, the Green Ranger. So the show came from the Sentai series. So in Japan, the show ran for 20 years. It wasn't called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was called it was Sentai. It was like it was a different name. They had different names. Every season they changed. So it was a successful show in Japan for 20 years. Saban started to like, I think I'm going to bring this to America. We'll change the actors in the beginning of our own story. We'll add the Japanese footage and make it into our own American thing. Right? So in the Japanese footage, they had the Green Ranger appear. And the Green Ranger was a bad guy, and eventually they killed him, I think, after so many episodes. And so they only had a few seasons.
Hey, how did that happen to me?
Let's say 5 to 10 episodes.
Bullshit, man.
And after that, he was supposed to die off or go away. And then the next season, there was going to be a White Ranger. Because eventually, every cast had 6 Rangers. If you watch the show over the years, there was always a 6 Ranger, a Green Ranger, a Gold Ranger, or something else that came to join the cast.
Titties like
I was so impressed with the writing of that story, his story, the Green Ranger. He's such a badass.
Man, Cass, you are the man.
Bad guy and a good guy, and then, he was part of the team, the writing there, the whole thing. He made us stronger, and then when it came time to die, so many people had enjoyed Stacey Davis Frank as the actor that played the Green Ranger, that they had to figure out who's going to be the White Ranger, and they thought, bring him back as the White Ranger. So they done it. They brought him back as the White Ranger. And then, unfortunately, after that, we were trying to negotiate for a better contract. He walked away, so then it left him to be the alpha. He was like the alpha mega. He was like, the new guys couldn't touch him. He was the new guy. He was the guy that was there. He was like the big win. It's like Billy wasn't as strong as the Green Ranger or the White Ranger. He wasn't skillful in that way. He was a smart guy. So the new guys were kind of like the underlings after that, and he went on to do 6 more seasons in that role.
Why do the Green Ranger shield look higher quality, Japanese footage compared to American footage? I mean, in that American
I noticed it as a kid.
Real cheap.
Yeah, because it was.
It's a blanket.
Because that's what they did. They didn't they didn't make it out of the same material. They just made it, kind of flimsy, and it wasn't that great. It wasn't the same.
Look like a damn blanket.
It wasn't the same, shield. They made one that kind of looked like it, their version of it, but yeah.
They look terrible.
That was bad, bro. That was. I ain't had nothing to do with that. That's what they did. They didn't want to pay their actors, they didn't want to pay them much actors. They were keeping the costs down, which is weird to me, but they were keeping the costs down to save as much money as possible. I guess, to invest in what I don't think I'm gonna
Would it be difficult for you to do some of these things?
difficult in the fact that it was taxing and it was like a lot of physical effort, even we would do we would shoot 4 episodes every 2 weeks, right? And we would shoot according to set. So almost in every episode we go to the command center and we talk to Zordon. Now, Zordon is not there. Zordon is a piece of tape on the wall that we're looking at and talking to, and there's a script reader reading his lines. It's not even the voice of Zordon. It's a woman. He's going, Rangers, there's a problem in Angel Grove. We need you to go down there. She's just reading. And we're like, acting, yeah. And we look at the thing now. That, I would say, was relatively a boring day. Because we're not doing anything. We're acting like we're upset and we're looking at the globe, looking at the wall. We're like, and that was a full day of command center, changing clothes, going back, remembering who we're fighting in this script, and what just happened, where we are, and like, what lines are we doing now? Like, are we fighting English Caesar? Is it Godar? Like, who's the bad guy? Like, it's kind of a boring day when you go over and you're indoors, it's dark, even if it's sunny outside, it's like we're in the dark in the command center all day. And that was taxing. That was acting. Now there's going to be adventurous and fun. Like any day that was fighting, any day that I had to go and do a fight scene, and I was excited. And that was the most challenging thing for me. And I loved it. I get to create all this cool stuff that I never even see them, and I had these great stunt guys that would motivate me to do even more. Like they were, I got to be creative, and I got to do things that I never thought I would do, which was awesome. And I did this one episode where I'm being chased by a putty, and I jump up and I see a tree limb, and I'm like, oh man, I can swing over that tree limb and come back down and chase me.
That's one of my favorite sections.
To keep in the back, that would be dope. That would be so fast if I could do that. So he's running, he's chasing me, and I jump up and I grab the brick, and I try to pull myself over, but it's too slow. I can do it. Physically, I can do it, but it's just too slow. I would miss him. It doesn't look good. So the stunt guy that I'm with, he goes, hey, what if I push you? What if I push you over? You're like, so I'm being the camera's here, you're in front, they won't see my hands push you. What if we can do that? So I'm like, all right, now, still physically action, because I got to hold on to this breath, I have the strength to hold on, and then be pushed up and over and back around. But we did it. Jumped up, he gave me a push, up and over, around, I kicked on the back. That stuff is not stuff that is easy to do, and not something I would even consider imagining, except for I'm a superhero and I'm capable of doing almost anything. So it was awesome.
Did you get any injuries?
I might have pulled a hamstring every now and then, that kind of thing, but nothing severe. Nothing severe. We were training. I was training all the time. I was getting better all the time. I was working with the stunt guys, learning different martial art forms, different kicks, punches, throws. I was going to the gymnasium and I was learning to do, put patterns of flips together, round off, back flip, back flip, back tuck or back layout. I was learning all these things. So, and I was young and I was skilled. So, yeah, it worked out.
You brought him up earlier, and I wanted to ask you about Jason. He played the, Green and White Ranger. You know what happened to him?
Jason Davidson. Yeah, he had a bout with mental health, and he passed away a couple of years ago from suicide. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Yeah, but there was a lot that went into it. He was mental health is real. People can go through depression. We're going through COVID. He was doing a lot of things. So. Personal lifestyle. It's unfortunate, but that's really sad.
And I used to always come across him on social media. And he always came across like he was in good spirits. So, yeah, it's crazy, but you never know what people are really going through. You know, you see them on social media and they look happy and, you know.
Of course. Of course. I mean, I think people go on social media and they put out the best image of themselves that they want people to see, but that doesn't let you in on anything else that's going on in your life. You know, I'm not gonna just necessarily involve you in all the garbage that might be in my life, or my depression or anything, or like my hardship. That's not. It's not. Generally, people are private about that. So that's what it is. I mean, I think social media is disrupted by it. And people are pretending to be something they're not. And not
But I'm sure you used to see the same thing, right? Him being on social media, IG, and, you know, he looked like he was in good spirits. You know, he looked happy.
Yeah. I mean, he was a very positive person. He gave positive messages. He was like, to let people know, you know, but he had issues. He had some issues, bro. He was bipolar. He was like, you know, he had depression. And he talked about it. Like, we talked about it. Like, we were friends. And we would go up and down in our friendship. Like, you know, he would call me up and he would ask me about things, and I would give him my honest opinion because I'm not a yes man. I'm a real person. So I'm going to tell you the real. You ask me something, I'm going to be like, all right, this is what I think. So he was able to take that from me most of the time, but sometimes he couldn't. You know, if I called him on something I thought he did wrong, and I'm like, hey, bro, why would you do that? Then he would get offended and be like, don't talk to me anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I know you for 30 years. I'm not going to talk to you. Shut up. We're next. We're talk. We're like, we'll have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, but we had our ups and downs. But you know, our ups were better than our downs, obviously. But I was able to work with him and his daughter and do stuff like Dial Talk. And he was doing poetry to talk about some of his mental health issues. And I inspired him to do that. You know, he would talk to me, and I was like, yeah, I think you should share that with your fans, because there's a lot of our fans that have some issues, you know, that are on the spectrum or whatever, that deal with depression or deal with a number of things. And so I figured, you know, if you tell them that you have some of these same issues, that's empowering. And like, you show them what you can do. And then, you know, that'll empower them to be even stronger and better. So I love that he did that. Like he did poetry. In fact, if you look on YouTube, he did this one piece. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a piece where he is in a room with like 8 other versions of himself, and it's like an AA meeting. And in the poetry, in the poem, he's talking about, thanks, you know, guys, for being here. I've been doing with this and going with that. But he's calling out each one of them, and each one of them is a different personality, and each one of them is him. He's like, you know, Mr. Depression, I deal with you like this, and I'm grateful that I got past this. Bipolar, I dealt with this, and so forth and so on. And at one point, there's an empty seat, and the seat is suicide. And he's like, I'm glad you're not here today. So it wasn't unheard of that he had thought about it. And he shared it with fans. It's on YouTube. You can go look at it. It's just nobody expected it to ever really happen. You know?
Everybody makes up on him.
I don't know who the Gold Ranger is. Oh, you talking about Jason Austin St. John when he came back for Turbo? Okay. So this is the thing. Austin and I used to be roommates. After I left the show, I went on to work, you know, Nickelodeon, Disney, like different shows. Austin went back to Power Rangers, and I didn't even know. So I guess when he went back as the Gold Ranger. He was like the 6th Ranger. He went back as the Gold Ranger, and he did a film, and he also did a series. But I can't tell you anything about it because I didn't watch it. I just know what I heard from him. But apparently he was a cool character. You know, he had all these powers. You know, he and Tommy butted heads,
In my
but
opinion,
eventually they worked together.
in my
He
opinion,
determined as a bad guy.
he took back the limelight as the number one guy.
You know,
He came back
that
to
guy's
see.
a funny one.
Looked like JDF was getting burned out.
See, but he didn't care about the show not being good.
Barely seen them
But
in
he went
person.
to see what his acting was.
And,
I joined the
outside
union
his suit.
after I left the show. So I became Screen Actors Guild. I was in the union. I was working with professional actors. He did it. He actually went on to become a paramedic. So acting was not necessarily what he wanted to do, and he didn't pursue getting to the union. Had he been in the union, he couldn't go back because it was still a non-union show.
For the people that don't know, what's union?
So, Screen Actors Guild is a union for actors as well as cast and crew, and it's basically a union that prevents actors from being taken advantage of. It has a certain amount of rules that makes it for professional. It's a professional union. You get health insurance and dental insurance, and actors. It's very difficult to make a living as an actor. I think the ratio is only, I forget the exact number, but I think it's like only 93% of all actors make a living. Or it might be 75% of all actors make a living. And then there's like 98% of those that are, A-listers. That are like the big list, like the Tom Cruises, big stars, Al Pacino, there's a Washington. There's only few and far, there's only few of them, but to make a living is maybe 75%. The rest of those actors have other jobs. They're just acting and it's a passion. They want to do it. They look for an opportunity. They might be in a big movie, but they might not ever work again. How many actors have you seen on TV shows? Let's say, what was a big show? Let's say, my brain's breaking. What was Will Smith's show? Fresh Prince. Let's say Fresh Prince, right? So a lot of actors on that show, a lot of great actors show that ran forever now. They made so much money, because I think Will was making $1 million an episode, right? So they made so much money, they didn't gotta work ever again. Maybe. I don't know. But a lot of those actors still want to work, and it's hard to get a job. Even those actors, even for actors that have hit hard, you might not see them again on another television show. You might see them here and there in a movie, or maybe a guest star, but it's difficult to be an actor and make a continuous living. So I'm really grateful I got 32 years. But I didn't make a killing, you know what I'm saying? I worked a lot. I did a lot of guest stars, and guest stars pay decent, but
True, keep it
I
my
haven't
way.
had another big way, like another big movie. I haven't had like a $1 million payday on a movie or anything like that. I haven't had that opportunity yet. If I got a Marvel movie or something like that, that would take long. That would be the only thing I think that compare to Power Rangers as far as level. I mean, because Marvel's such a big thing. If I got on Star Wars, something like that, Star Trek, something like that, one of those things would be a next big thing. But I've worked a lot, but I'm grateful for all the work I've done, but I haven't had another big hit. Not like Power Rangers. I did The Shield, just won a Golden Globe and Emmy. And that was close. Great show. I was actually working on The Shield and a sitcom at the same time, which was very exciting because I was doing comedy and drama at the same time, which was very cool. Still, and look high, bro. You got ups and downs.
You tell me the story where you filled up a stadium and then Michael Jackson you could perform.
Oh yeah, Yeah. Yeah. Well, apparently we were told, hey, listen,
Last one. Lord, please let us
a
get
live
this.
show for the affiliates, for like, you know, the
Throw down, basket. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, what I had to do. What's going on, Seth? Yeah.
the studio. They want to bring out some executives and they want to see you guys do what you do live in your live show. And we're going to do it at Universal Studios. And I used to work at the Wild West Stunt Show. And we were going to do it at the Wild West Stunt Show Theater, which probably holds like 2,000 people. And I knew it well because I did a show there regular. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We're going to do this thing. And then they came back and said, listen, it's the show's gotten so popular, everybody wants to come see it. We're going to do it at the Universal Amphitheater. Now that's where Michael Jackson would perform, so somewhere like that. And it suits, you know, a lot more people. I think, I don't know how many, maybe 12,000 people, a show, or 10,000 people show. And we were like, wow, okay, that's incredible. So, no doubt, they sold it like 6 times.
Yeah!
to the day.
We win.
The Universal Studios still sold out every time, and
That's how it's done.
from Universal Studios. And
Not a
downtown,
victory.
It was a freeway. It was like, I mean, it was a parking lot. You know, people couldn't go anywhere. Everybody's trying to come out and see the fireworks. So that was how popular the show was at that point. And to think about it now, can you imagine how much money they made on that show, on that live show?
That's
I mean,
going to be
those
the end of
tickets
this
were like
episode.
$50, right? Or $40 a ticket. We didn't get no money off of
The
that.
very end of this
We didn't see
episode.
nothing.
Thank y'all coming in and joining me. Winning. Give
Again,
us our in. Wrestling tomorrow.
it's just, you know, it was.
Hope I get some well rest after
You
work.
being the only black guy on the show.
Actually,
Did you
nap.
do a recent-
Actual nap.
I didn't
Till then,
necessarily deal with any
goodbye,
racism.
y'all.